What is the best part about working with inspiring business owners?
You know what it is? It re-inspires you every day. I know
Mm.
some people say that a lot about other things too, but it's like,
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to 5 with T5. We're bringing local business owners, community champions, and all-around amazing individuals on to learn about them, their stories, or business in a quick and effective way. My name is Stephen Turnbull with T5 Insurance, your host, and I'm joined by my man today, CJ Hanrahan, Associate Advisor at Mohawk Valley Small Business Development Center. CJ, did I just butcher your last name, or was that pretty spot
a
on?
little bit. It's
Yeah.
it's Hanrahan.
Hanrahan. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
all right, I
It
give
happens all
myself
the
like a
time.
C plus. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna start the clock with 5 rapid fire questions, as you know, for our guest, and then we will get into learning more about CJ. You ready to rock?
I am. Let's do it.
All right, from the top, number one, you have to pick one of these superpowers: super
Oh,
strength or super speed. And why do you pick the
speed.
one you do?
Speed. Just
Quick.
it's cooler. I ran track in high school, so like that was, that's what I'm all about.
Beautiful. So you want to get right around town with no problem.
Oh yeah, I mean, if there's no worry just to go from point A to point B like that, come on, traveling is a breeze. Let's
That's a
do
good
that.
point. That's a good point. Question number two: your preference, beer or wine?
Beer all day.
Beautiful. This might be
We're
a
in
right.
Utica,
You're right. You're right. This might be a record to breeze through these questions here. All right, we're going to get a little more serious. In your day-to-day work that we'll get into,
Mhm.
what is the best part about working with inspiring business owners?
It, you know what it is? It re-inspires you every day. I know
Mm.
some people say that a lot about other things too, but it's like when you have somebody come up to you and they have this amazing idea, and you might be having a rough day, like you don't want to be doing much, but you know, if someone comes up to you with this amazing idea and they're so passionate about it, it reignites your own fire. And then you go home thinking, on your drive back, you're like, you know what? What about my idea about this and that and the other thing? You get right back into it, and it's amazing.
I love that.
There's no better feeling.
I love that. Number four, reflecting on the past year for you, what self-discovery or personal insights has been most significant for you that you can think of?
I would say realizing that, so I'm younger, but realizing that I actually have something to say at the table, like realizing like, wow, I'm not a kid anymore. My ideas, they always mattered, but now I have that platform, and when I speak, people listen. It's no longer kind of like oh, wait your turn. It's realizing it's my turn,
Mm.
and embracing that voice has been the most eye-opening thing this past year.
I love that. We'll have to dive deeper into that. Last question, question number five. Describe a dream job that you once had as a child.
Ooh, as a child, I thought about making movies. Like I always wanted to do that. Like, kind of I fell in love with like Lord of the Rings and like fantasy and stuff. So like Peter Jackson, it was amazing. Like just then I learned a little bit more about what it takes to make a movie, and then kind of passions changed. But just like I would say, maybe not making a movie, but maybe making like props for movies. I think that's kind of where I'll take it back. Probably like making props for movies.
Mm, cool. I like that. I think you hit a record here with the five, and they were not pre-planned, folks, just so you know. He just popped those off without knowing what they were. CJ, tell us about you. Let's get into that. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about SBDC. I want to talk about Catalyst. I want to talk about a lot in the 15 minutes that we have here. But tell us about you, your journey, and what got you to where you are today.
Yeah. All right. So, born and raised originally from Whitesboro. Then I moved to Sequoia. Graduated in 2015, and then didn't really know. I was kind of actually in the environmental and construction-based jobs initially. So I went to school for that. Did civil engineering tech at MV. Then realized that I'm pretty good at math, but I don't enjoy it in the day to day. So then switched to business. So through a few internships with the county, I was in the rooms with like different state and local officials, and I love the meetings, I love the planning, I love talking about all these things, and then that kind of inspired me to do business. Um, I switched on the fly. I was about to go to SUNY Delhi for construction management. But then a few weeks before the semester started, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do business. And I looked at it and I'm like, you know what, SUNY Poly, it's in Utica, it's my hometown. Like, save a few bucks on an education.
Yep.
And then I did it. And from there, I really fell in love with the marketing side of things. Just how that really connected with me on a different level. And yeah, I got out of college, and I originally had plans to move away. So my buddy and I were talking about getting a place in Chicago, of all places. And then the pandemic hit, and I kind of had to reevaluate everything I had going on because you just couldn't do much. And get out of college, and I'm scared. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do, and like all the jobs are kind of like shutting down, and who's gonna hire me, and like terrible time to get out of college. And Then I found a job posting for MBCC, and it was Associate Business Advisor. I look at the job description. I'm like, well, I match all the requirements for that, so I'll go for it. And I went to MD. I love the college, so went for it. And then when I start talking to them in the phone interview, they're like, "Oh, we're at Thinkubator," and I go, what the hell is Thinkubator? And then I found out more about it, and I fell in love with it. Like a business incubator, co-working space in downtown Utica. I'm like, why is this here?
Mm.
This is kind of like a bigger city type model for something. And I fell in love with it, and I've been here ever since. And even on top of that, my job can be a little misleading on what it is, and I'll get into that more when we kind of have those focus questions, I'm sure. But I handle all like the marketing and PR type stuff for us. So being able to do that in such a creative, unique space with a bunch of other inspiring people, it's amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of like the very condensed version of how I ended up here.
Yeah. Let's dive a little deeper into what you were saying about moving away. I like,
Mhm.
everything you just screamed a local kid. Went to school here, born and raised here, said, "Hey, let's go to SUNY Poly." I went to MV, work here now, love the area. We're going to get into like the Catalyst stuff, and you're a big cheerleader for the area, but like where did the desire come to like move away and then the decision not to do that? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it was I always, it was just like kind of visiting other places. I mean, like obviously, through college, I did like spring break in Cancun. I did, New York City a bunch, Boston here, different weekend trips and stuff. And I got to see like what was different, and just like that, I don't know, that kind of small town kid in a big city, like that really is what it was. And experiencing that, I'm like, wow, I want to do that thing. Like that's these amazing things in the arts and culture and people that only happens in big cities, right? So that's what I thought. So that's where the draw was. And when the pandemic kind of slowed everything down, it made me, I reevaluate a little bit, and then I still had those thoughts and feelings, but I was like, you know what, why not, water my own garden kind of thing, like I'm gonna work here, and I'm gonna make the most of it. I'm not gonna just be, complaining about, oh, I'm stuck here or whatever. And I was like, let me look at it from a different angle, right? So I started to, dive deep into my job. I absolutely loved it. I was so much support, and yeah, like they gave me, my workplace here, they gave me the platform to kind of explore and do what I want, and connect with the community more. And I'd say the biggest thing that kind of flipped uh, my opinion on the area was I did they sent me to Leadership Mohawk Valley with the CLE, and through the program, I mean, for 8 months, I got to kind of deep dive into local organizations and really what they do, and all the amazing things going on in the area, kind of behind the curtain. And it changed everything. I'm like, that's now it's switched to, wait a minute, you can do amazing things here. You just need to be hungry enough
Mm-hmm.
to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had Alyssa on from Leadership Milk Valley on the podcast. You check out her episode if you want to learn more about what he's talking about there. Yeah, I think that was a great way to answer that question, because you hear, and I mean, you and I are, I believe, similar ages, and you have friends that either, oh, I'm getting out of here because of X, Y, and Z, but then, they either come back for different reasons or realize there is a lot going on here. One of the things I want to kind of pivot to is your involvement in Catalyst.
Mhm.
And I think you, Mike, the entire team are just doing a fantastic job. And I'll let CJ explain a little bit for the listeners. But Catalyst is the young professional arm of the chamber. And for some context here, CJ is the membership committee chair, I believe, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and so 4 years ago, I was the chair of the Catalyst Group for 2 years, and then became a board member of the regular chamber. And I joke that him and Mike are cleaning up my mess of Catalyst. But um, what I admire is you guys are just getting so many new young professionals involved. And we did a great job when we were kind of doing our thing with Catalyst, but it was hard, right? And I'll tell you right now that like you guys are doing a really good job at getting people involved. And one thing you said right there is like, well, let's plant my own seed, let's water my own grass type deal. Talk to us about how you guys do that from a standpoint, and I guess give a real quick summary of what Catalyst is for those who are listening that might just learn about it.
Yeah, so Catalyst, Young Professionals Group in Utica. We are part of the chamber. So basically, they kind of help us out with all of our, like meeting spaces, connections, some funding here and there if we need that, and kind of that's where everything gets funneled through. But more or less, it's just a community group for young professionals. And it's not just young professionals; it's everybody. The only rule is you have to be under 40 to serve on the committee. So in order to plan all this stuff, you have to be under 40. But everyone's welcome at our stuff. Essentially, what it is it's kind of that alternate choice to your like business after hours. There's a place for that, but then there's not really like a good spot for young professionals who, quite frankly, give a damn, right, in the area and
Great way
want to
to
do
put it. Great way to put it.
and that's all it is. We're all real people. We want to do good, and that's really what it is. So it's an outlet for us to meet new people, hang out, give back to some local businesses, give back to the community and some organizations, and also passively, it's all that networking happens. Like my girlfriend was able to hear about a job through another one of my buddies who's on Catalyst with us, and him and I were friends from LMB. So like it all kind of how it goes, like that spider
It all
web of like
connects.
connections. It all kind of stemmed. That's like the meeting hub for us, right? Like once a month we all check in, see how we're doing, and you just get to meet all these different people that why would you normally, So some people work for um, Boilermakers, some work for, different like tech companies, some of them work for insurance and banking. I wouldn't necessarily deal with all of them in my day to day, but because they found Catalyst, now we can. And now
Mm-hmm.
I've made some really good friends from it. So that's really the mission of it.
And like I said, when we started this conversation on this topic, was like I love when I go to a Catalyst event or I go to a chamber event and see Catalyst people. Like they're all new people, and that's the best part about it. What has been the success for you guys getting new people on board? That
Um,
quote unquote give a damn.
Yeah, it honestly, it's been being real with people, like when I talk to somebody, as in charge of membership, so it's been a few different ways of doing that. So when I started with membership, we had a lower number of steering committee members. So where I started was starting with, the people that I knew who I think would enjoy and benefit from being part of the group.
Mm.
Talk to them, maybe went out for a beer or lunch or what have you and just talked about what it was and saw if they were interested. And I think the success was if I never pushed anybody to do it, I just gave them the information and let them make an educated decision. I said, I'd love to have you, but you think about it. And then I would leave it. And, some people came back to me, 3 months later. I didn't even bother following up with it. It was just a matter of like, here it is, think about it, just if you ever want to come back, let me know. I never would push it or worry too much about it. And when I talk to people, the first thing out of my mouth is not like, how can I get something from you? How can I get you to join? It's just like, what do you need? Like, how can I help? Like what's going on? Talk about your day. You just want to bounce some ideas off of somebody. You just want to talk about what it's like being in your 20s in the modern day and like how crazy that is. And then that kind of stemmed. I was just genuine with people. Some people might say like, oh, you had a plan. No, there really wasn't. If I'm being completely honest, just be a real human, and the rest
Mm.
kind of falls into place.
I love that. And I mean, yeah, to your point, it could fall in place. That goes a long way, just being genuine. Let's we're running out of time here. We could talk about this all day long, especially you and
Yeah.
I. But tell us about SBDC, what you guys are doing down there, who you are, where you are, how you can help, all that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So we are the Mohawk Valley Small Business Development Center. We're one of 20 in New York State. We help small businesses and entrepreneurs start up. completely free. So no strings attached. Anyone looking to, just start up, bounce an idea, see what it's like to start your own business, we can teach you. We can help you through the process, and get you going. So we can help you find, like through business plan assistance, financial projections, marketing plans, just general research. We do it all. And if we don't have the answers in house, we're going to find you someone who does. We have a vast array of community partners that we work with we're only here to help. That's really it. And that's it. You want to start a small business, come check us out. And
That's
yeah,
incredible.
we're housed here at Thinkubator. So very amazing partnership there. Mohawk Valley Community College, they're our host institution, hence Thinkubator. So they run that as well. And yeah, it's just this perfect relationship that we have. And like it is, like going back to my points, because we're here to help. It's simple.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're looking to wrap this up because of the time crunch here. But the last question I want to ask you, and you alluded to it a couple different times about giving a damn. Why does CJ give a damn?
We only get one go on this earth, and why waste any minute of it doing anything else? That's really it for me.
So good. That short comment says a lot. CJ, thank you very much. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for being here to take the time to be on the show, and thank you for what you do for people in the community, man. It is an incredible service that you guys offer. Starting a small business myself, it is no small feat, and there's a lot of things that you learn and you figure out as you go. And having a support system like you guys there is absolutely huge. So for anybody that's listening to this and maybe thinking about that, or just want to get in touch with you, or maybe talk about Catalyst, or just giving a damn in general, what's the best way to get in touch?
Yeah, website, thinkubator.co. Just check us out. And then from there, if you want to book an appointment. Otherwise, if it's Catalyst specific, go to the chamber website, Greater Utica Chamber, and then look up Catalyst at the home screen. And then check us out. Come to one of our meetups. Talk to me, talk to anybody, and we'll have a beer and we'll see what's going on.
And I can attest, folks, very friendly people. Don't ever feel like you have to be shy when you show up. You're going to be welcomed, extremely welcoming group of people. So, CJ, thank you again for taking the time. Everybody, that's another rep of the Five with T5 episode. We hope you enjoyed this engaging conversation with CJ. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel and Facebook page at T5 Insurance. Until next time, remember the power of connection and learning from one another is what makes our community thrive. But most importantly, remember to make an impact today in someone's life, even if that's your own. Stephen Turnbull here with T5 Insurance. We'll see you next week. Take care.